Hello, and welcome to Anime Audio Commentary. Today I'll be commenting on Episode 2 of Season 2 of My Dress Up Darling. If you'd like to watch along, then start watching now. So last we left off, Gojo was just really going through it, the poor guy. You know, he was essentially hanging out with Marin and a bunch of other cosplayers, and he was sort of reminded of an incident from his past, which really just sort of informs his demeanor as a whole in the present. And I guess the crux of the matter is that he wasn't exactly receiving the negative response he expected. And, you know, it's kind of nice and all, but I can't imagine one unexpectedly positive response would just sort of fix everything. And I guess what's more, now people are sort of assuming that he and Marin are dating, which he has denied with suspicious alacrity. And, you know, they aren't dating, but that he would deny it so vehemently is, I guess, cause for concern, because he certainly doesn't mean it the way it sounds, and Marin is certainly not happy to hear this. So, you know, it seems like we're getting on the misunderstanding train. You know, things are gonna get kind of sticky, and I feel like, I don't know, might be a rough episode, because I feel like if you took both the characters aside and you were to ask them what they really wanted, it probably would be to date one another, you know? I mean, maybe Gojo would sort of dance around the issue a little bit, he probably wouldn't be too straightforward about it, but I guess it is sort of reassuring to see that everyone is sort of, upset about this whole encounter. Maybe upset's too strong a word, but disheartened perhaps. Marin especially. And I guess unfortunately she's jumping to the wrong conclusion here that obviously he must hate her. Oh dear. Oh, you know, maybe Gojo will get his chance to fix everything by pounding the tar out of these two guys. I mean, you know, it's never a good thing when, like, a couple people just sort of approach someone apropos of nothing and certainly seem agitated. Okay. Oh boy. Alright, Gojo had the right response here, although maybe it would have been more prudent just to, like, headbutt the guy right on the septum. Okay, well, I guess it's not a convenient mugging or something, it's probably a misunderstanding. I mean, I guess, if nothing else, props to Gojo for acting on his instincts here. Okay, so I guess, you know, Gojo is wrong here, but the question is, what's actually going on? Because I feel like, I can't think of a good explanation. I mean, I guess they might be acquaintances, but that doesn't explain why the guy was, you know, reaching out at her like that. Okay. Hairstylists, but that still doesn't explain much. Okay, well, interesting. Just an overzealous hairstylist who's upset about, you know, Marin's hair and how she's not taking care of it optimally. Oh boy. There's nothing quite like yelling at someone saying, like, I'm not trying to nag you. It's like, man, not especially convincing. So I guess the question is, does everything get resolved now, or do we drag it on for the episode? Ooh. So Gojo's just suffering, I guess, because, like, sure, everything got worked out, but, like, he's definitely not going to take them up on their offer to get a haircut, you know? Can't say I blame the guy. Like, I really wouldn't want to ever see those people ever again if I was in Gojo's position, having misunderstood things. Alright. So Marin's just, like, kissing him on the rabbit head, but, like, I get the feeling this isn't gonna come across. Ooh. Alright, so Gojo's exactly wrong here. And I feel like Marin's well-meaning disbelief at his accusation is only going to make things worse. I guess it is too much to ask that she could just be honest about things, but, man, this is actually threatening to spiral out into, like, an incident. I feel like the opening is growing on me, but I still don't like it as much as the first one. And it seems like we're just going to be doing like the classic staying home sick plot here. So Marin's sick, she's staying home, so naturally someone's going to need to bring her schoolwork and all that. Naturally, if Gojo doesn't volunteer, I feel like he's going to get volunteered or something. Or actually, maybe he'd volunteer himself. Like, that would be, I guess, indicative of growth, I suppose, because I feel like he wouldn't be the type to do that. I guess it is interesting that he's so distracted from his schoolwork based on how Marin's doing. That is rather nice, but at the same time, I feel like maybe sacrificing his education isn't the best use of his time. Although I feel like, if Marin's not responding to him, that's kind of not a good sign either. I mean, in all likelihood, it could just be nothing, When I feel sick, like, I just, like, sleep, And I wouldn't be surprised if she did the same, but I guess regardless of what's going on... Oh, okay, that's something. I figured school would have been over before he showed up, but no, he just left at noon. Which, that's something. I guess this speaks to his devotion. Oh, he didn't leave on lunch or anything. He just, like, pretended to be sick so he could leave as well. That's something. I guess it's also something that she's, seemingly doing so poorly as to faint at the door like that. I guess she really is lucky that, Gojo's here to take care of her. Or at least someone so considerate. Now, unfortunately, he has to contend with all sorts of problems in Marin's effective absence, one of which is getting her, like, a change of clothes, which, that's its own kettle of fish, And I guess things are made worse when Marin owns shirts like that. Like, it's a clean shirt, but at the same time, it's not gonna help the situation much, I don't blame Gojo for not wanting to have Marin wear that, but So I guess he's just settling down into cooking, you know. Probably making like a hearty soup. Or maybe rice porridge, actually. That makes more sense. I don't recall if we've seen him cook before. You know, I guess I'm not really surprised that he has the skills. Well, now that I think about it, I seem to recall there was an instance of him cooking for Marin previously. Yeah, well, I guess it's just one of his skills along with sewing and other, you know, tailoring activities. So, things must be pretty nice for Marin here, all things considered. I mean, she's sick and that's never fun, but at least Gojo's here to, you know, help her and cook for her and tend to her. Oh dear. So it seems like things were worse than we truly believed them to be. You know, she was too sick to move, she ran out of food, and, I mean, good on Gojo for remaining stoic in the face of this, because, like, you know, this isn't a good situation. And I can certainly relate to, just being absolutely miserable when I'm sick like this, but, man, you know, she is lucky, like, and I guess if nothing else, this puts the misunderstanding to bed, because, you know, it's pretty clear that, if nothing else, they do certainly care for each other. I guess it is nice, too, that she's not so out of it that she's unable to be grateful. Because, like, I'm sure he wouldn't mind one way or another taking care of her, but it's always nice to be thanked, you know? And frankly, how could he refuse someone in such a sort of pathetic, wretched state as this, you know? Like, I feel like you really have to have a heart of stone to turn down someone like this. And, you know, like, all his effort seems to be paying off, you know? The fever's seemingly broken, there's leftover food and all that stuff, so, you know, everything's, quote-unquote good. Although there is the problem of other classmates now showing up to check in on Marin, and, you know, maybe Gojo's overstating things a little bit that he necessarily needs to hide. You know, I feel like none of these people checking up on Marin would rat him out to the school. I think he's just sort of overreacting, because, like, I guess I sort of naturally assumed his first thought was like, uh-oh, they'll think we're dating. But no, it's, I don't want to get in trouble at school, which, you know, fair enough. But I feel like when you lie for something like this, like, it takes a real snitch to rat you out, you know? So, they've gone to an aquarium in cosplay with a bunch of other people. So I'm wondering, like, what's the deal? Like a cosplay event at an aquarium? You know, this is one of those things where it really does seem like a date, and any outside observer might make that assumption. But I get the feeling that it clearly isn't a date. Although Marin is now more preoccupied with a fellow cosplayer. Presumably, you know, a character she likes. Although the question is, what's the deal here? Who's this character? Like, I guess an idol, if I had to guess, based off the visuals. Okay, well, sort of an idol, I guess, but an idol from a video game, like a visual novel. You know, that seems to be Marin's, big thing she likes, visual novels. Alright, so yeah, I guess based on that brief description of the game, it really does seem like the type of thing that's up her alley. So I guess the question is, what now? Naturally, Marin, just being who she is, I feel like she's gonna make fast friends with this new cosplayer, and then, well, no, Gojo will probably get roped into helping make a new costume for both people. Ooh. A wardrobe malfunction. This is the perfect opportunity for Gojo to do something. Now, I don't know exactly what's meant by saying I've dropped a hook from my skirt. Like, I don't know exactly what that means, how that functions in holding up a skirt, but I suppose if it prevents indecency, then so be it. Alright. Oh boy, so we're asking the big questions quickly. Are you, are you partners in terms of cosplay and all that? And I guess, that's a firm yes. Yeah, I guess that skirt thing got resolved rather quickly. Like, I figured Gojo would have to do some, triage tailoring. But I suppose instead... Oh! Alright, well, no, I guess he is doing it, because that would allow for a cosplay photo shoot. So, Himeno here, I guess, is going to learn that, Gojo's just willing to sew wherever to help people. You're not going to get anywhere trying to say, oh, no, I couldn't let you do that. Ooh. So that is something, the issue of dressing rooms and all that. Whoa, buddy. Man, the makeup's doing a lot of heavy lifting, huh? Alright, well. I feel like, I don't know, they didn't necessarily have to go into the changing rooms specifically. I feel like there could have been a way to get around the whole issue, but oh well. Yeah, Gojo's having the same sort of thoughts I'm having here. How is this feminine appearance manufactured? Liquid glue, apparently, but it's probably best we don't speculate on some of that stuff, Oh dear. So, Gojo's just wondering about it, and I feel like there are many questions where you just don't want to know the answers, and I feel like this is solidly in the realm of that. And I guess meanwhile, Marin has run into another friend. A friend and fellow photographer, I guess. So I guess the question is, will she be having another impromptu photo shoot? I wouldn't be surprised, I guess. It occurs to me seeing Marin dressed up as Shizuka-tan again that her outfit is a lot less revealing than I remember it being. And I'm wondering if this is quote-unquote story related for a game that doesn't exist. Ooh. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. See, this is when knowledge of the game becomes interesting here. Knowing that, characters have, writing on their thighs, asking, hey, Marin, how realistic are you, I wouldn't be surprised if Marin was totally accurate, Oh, that's interesting. This is Himeno's first time doing cosplay at an event like this, so he wasn't exactly fully prepared for any potential wardrobe malfunctions. And to be fair, I feel like most people wouldn't be prepared or, ready to expect a wardrobe malfunction. And, those things can be rather, cataclysmic, Oh dear, so Gojo's saying, it resembles glue, and, there's confirmation, I guess. It is glue. And I guess it's to stick the wig to one's head and or face. Oh. Okay. So it's like actual glue. It's not like glue intended for this purpose. Man, that's not good. Because, surely it can't be super glue, like cryoacetylate, whatever the chemical composition is. Because, that stuff forms like a hard crust when it dries. Oh man. I'm just thinking about this. This is risky business if you're gluing stuff to your face as a guy. If you have any sort of facial hair whatsoever, you're asking for, tremendous pain. So I guess Gojo is engrossed by the cosplay. I wonder what he's noticed. Oh. Alright. I guess he has two big questions, and I feel like the easy answer is some sort of prosthesis. Well, maybe prosthesis is even too elegant a term for it. It's probably just I don't know, balloons or something. Although, whatever the method is, Himeno is willing to show it off. And I feel like Gojo doesn't deserve this aggravation, even if Marin is willing. Alright, well that's it for this episode. If you've enjoyed it, then by all means, tune in for the next one. See you, Space Cowboy.